Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here with the Monday Night Raw review on the 11th of March, 2019. Talking about tonight's Monday Night Raw, I thought it was an okay show. I wouldn't call it great. I'd almost call it good. But I'd say okay, maybe like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I mean, it was easy to watch. There was nothing wrong. Well, I can't say there was nothing wrong with the show. There were some things that was like, why? But for the most part, I thought everything flowed well. I thought everything went, good. We learned of a couple things for WrestleMania. We didn't learn too much. And basically, most of the talking segments, they kept that to a minimum. As far as like a couple minutes, boom, except for the back and forth between Seth and Paul Heyman, and that wasn't even that long. So, I mean, we learned of what? One new match officially. Another possible match for WrestleMania. And then we got some, new build towards some other things. But I see a lot of you in the chat right now. We've got Beastie Boy, Dead Panda 543, Robbie Rice, Kristen McNutt, Noah Hall, Joshua Lowe, Legend Steelers fan, Arion Banks, Derek Bocek. So, Raw kicked off with a Shield. The Shield was supposed to give their farewell address. Shield came out through the crowd like, the Shield does. They all came down to the ring. The announcers kept stating how Dean Ambrose will be leaving soon. Roman Reigns got on the mic and said that he's come to the realization that life is short. And if last night was the last time ever, he had no regrets, because last night he got to do what he loves to do with who he loves. He said his brothers have never let him down. So are you saying that you weren't disappointed? Was he saying that he wasn't disappointed in Dean when Dean turned on Seth the night he announced his leukemia? He's saying that he wasn't disappointed that Dean didn't let him down in that situation. So with that, Reigns said that we're on the road to WrestleMania, and they all had business to take care of, which we only knew of Seth's business actually. He said himself hadn't had a singles match on Raw in 5 months, and that was going to change tonight. Reigns said Ambrose had his own business to take care of, and goes, I'm not sure what that is, and I don't think Ambrose knows either, so good luck, Ambrose. He said, but Rollins, you've got the real problems to deal with. You got to go slay that beast. And then the crowd started chanting, slay the beast. He said Rollins would beat Lesnar at Mania and take the Universal title. Ambrose hugged Rollins. Reigns hugged Rollins. And then they did the Shield pose for the quote-unquote last time. Or the fist bump, whatever you want to call it. Ambrose and Reigns left the ring as Rollins was down there to cut a promo on Brock Lesnar. Rollins said that the Shield burned it down last night at Fastlane. But before he could say anything else, Paul Heyman would interrupt. Heyman came down and ran down his normal shtick. I am the advocate for the reigning, defending, Universal Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. Seth Rollins then ran down some of Lesnar's accomplishments, stating, oh, you mean the same guy that handled the Big Show, defeated Samoa Joe, took out Goldberg? And Paul Heyman goes, well, yeah, thanks for doing my job for me and stating everything I was going to state. Rollins then said, but Lesnar had trouble with guys like Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Finn Balor. Brock doesn't do too well against guys kind of like me. Faster, smaller guys. He said that his size is actually going to be an advantage against Brock Lesnar. Unlike those other men, though, he was uniquely qualified to actually beat Brock Lesnar. The crowd then chanted once again, slay the beast. Heyman said that, you know what, that's not going to happen come WrestleMania. Heyman said Rollins wasn't telling the whole truth. Lesnar had no time to prepare for those other men. He had no more than maybe a week or two to prepare. He said that Styles replaced Jinder, Bryan replaced Styles, and Balor replaced Strowman. Heyman then played a video package recapping Brock Lesnar's career and warned Rollins that more was to come. The crowd shrieked as we thought Brock Lesnar was going to appear behind Seth Rollins, but instead it was Brock's old OVW tag team partner, Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin took Seth Rollins to Suplex City. And then we got the word that a match was going to happen between Benjamin and Rollins. So we got a 10.5-minute match between Seth Rollins and Shelton Benjamin. Heyman joined commentary. He said that Benjamin and Lesnar weren't necessarily friends, but did run down their history together, stating that they trained together, they were a tag team together, and that I guess he said he paid Shelton Benjamin to attack Seth Rollins, but it becoming a match wasn't in the plans. It just happened, so whatever. Going forward, Rollins took control and hit a blockbuster and missed a curb stomp attempt, though. Rollins slipped out of a German suplex attempt, but Benjamin caught him with a running knee for a 2. After a commercial break, Heyman took a call on his cell phone. He told Renee goes, "Are you really taking a call right now?" And he goes, "Don't worry about it." So he's talking on his phone or whatever. You kind of hear it. And he then told Cole that Lesnar didn't appreciate his comments about him, nor was he a fan of that video package by the lazy production team. He then announced that next week from Chicago, Illinois, Brock Lesnar will be appearing on Monday Night Raw. Cole didn't seem too worried and kind of just was like, maybe he'll actually show up to his job. Maybe he'll actually be here and do what he's paid to do. Like, damn, Michael Cole clapping back at frickin' Paul Heyman tonight. Benjamin then hit a German suplex back in the ring and seemingly went for what looked like an F5. Rollins slipped out, hit 2 super kicks and a curb stomp for the victory. As Rollins celebrated, Balor's music hit. Balor entered the ring area. Seth Rollins left. They shook hands. Balor came down to defend his Intercontinental Championship. There was a weird moment here after Balor got in the ring where Bobby's face was just on the big screen. Very weird, because they didn't take Balor's graphics off the screen, so it's just Balor's graphics and then Bobby Lashley's face above those. It was a little weird. WWE then, before this match started, congratulated themselves on having over 1 billion followers on all types of social media: YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We then got another 10.5 to 11-minute match between Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor. Every Balor TV match seems to start out the same way. Heel takes control, applies a rest hold for a minute, boom, commercial. Balor then fights back, hits a flip dive. There you go. After commercial break, Balor fought out of a headlock. Lashley caught him with a downward spiral for a 2. Balor countered a powerbomb attempt into a low drop kick. He followed it up with a running forearm chop double stomp. Lashley then grabbed him and drove him into the turnbuckle. Balor came back later with a sling blade and a running drop kick. Balor went to go to the top, and then all of a sudden, the ring bell just started going off. Ding, 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 like crazy. So cameras cut over to the ring bell area, whatever you want to call it. And there's a guy in a gray hoodie who everyone knows who it is. It's Lio Rush. He's trying to distract Finn Balor, which it works. Balor was distracted. Lio Rush grabbed the title belt and was mocking Balor, so Balor chased him around the ringside area slightly before he gave him an enziguri. Remember, Lio never hit or touched Finn, so there was no DQ called here. Balor then tried to go for a springboard off of the ropes from the apron and was hit with a huge spear and pinned. Lashley, once again, WWE Intercontinental Champion. What? This was something that did not make sense to me. Like I said, there were some good things on this show, but then there were some head scratchers, and this was the first head scratcher of the night. Like, why put that title on Balor just for him to lose it a month or so later back to Bobby Lashley? Now, the reasoning for it, now you're going to say, well, why did Lashley even get this match? There's no automatic rematches. I think Corey Graves kind of had a workaround stating that Leo was the one pinned, not Bobby. So Bobby should have gotten his rematch, which we're going to see the same thing with the U.S. title tomorrow. Since R-Truth was never pinned to lose the RC title, or the U.S. title, he's getting a rematch tomorrow. So, I don't know. With that, they then stated that later on tonight, Alexa Bliss will have a special episode of A Moment of Bliss.
Getting what a girl wants from Fire TV.
Alexa, stop. Always happens. When you say the word Alexa, my Amazon Echo goes off. I don't know why it happened. Well, I know why it happens, but all right. Let's fix that. Mute. There we go. All right, it won't happen again because we're going to talk about Bliss again later. Sorry about that. So also I was told that there was a commercial that aired in Montreal for a date after WrestleMania that actually announced Lashley defending the IC title against Rollins, which was weird. Why would Lashley be defending the IC title against Rollins after WrestleMania? So, in the back, Charlie Caruso asked Baron Corbin about his Roman Reigns comments from a few months back. Also, we did learn that we were going to get, or supposed to get, Roman Reigns versus Baron Corbin tonight. So he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, well, let's see the replay. Corbin reiterated his comments and said that Reigns couldn't possibly be 100%. You know, it was the week after Roman Reigns left. He stated something like, I hope Reigns doesn't come back on Raw. He should go to SmackDown, this and that. I was like, okay, whatever. According to Corbin, he didn't think Roman was 100%. He said he would house train the big dog tonight in their match. He also said Reigns' Shield brothers wouldn't be able to help him. Not sure why he would say that. Ronda Rousey then came down to the ring. And this was quick as far as what Ronda said. Because remember, like I said, they kept most of the talking to a minimum. Ronda said, you can take, or, hold on, I have it written down here. Let me find it. All right, guys. She goes, quote, you can all take your applause and shove it. You think I give a damn what you bandwagon bitches think? Ronda went on to say that she didn't forget people chanting, you deserve it, when Charlotte was beating her with a kendo stick. She then ran down Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair and said that she would desecrate the place they love. She basically said that she was going to expose the WWE for the carnies that they are. Rousey said that she got Charlotte disqualified last night because she wanted to be able to beat both Charlotte and Becky at WrestleMania. She also went on to say that she wants to embarrass and expose Becky Lynch, expose Charlotte Flair, expose WWE. Rousey said that WWE has her permission to make this a handicap match. She doesn't even want any help. And she's going to embarrass both of these women and not even break a sweat. Rousey said Lynch and Charlotte were both jokes, and everybody who believes in this whole charade was also a joke. And she tossed down the mic. And she was getting ready to leave. Dana Brooke would come out and actually cut an okay promo. Better than you would expect from Dana Brooke. So Dana Brooke came out and said that we've heard enough from Ronda Rousey. We've heard enough of Ronda Rousey disrespecting the women's locker room in the WWE. She said she had nothing left to lose, so she was going to be the one to try and earn or try to beat the respect into Ronda. I don't know what you were thinking, Dana Brooke. Brooke noted that Rousey normally issues an open challenge the night after a pay-per-view, so give me an open challenge I'm here to accept. Instead, Rousey just kicked her, knocked her right on her ass, and started beating the crap out of her. A bunch of referees came down to break it up, and Ronda looked like she was going to leave, turns around, and slaps one of the referees right across the face. Forgot a spot. Right before that, though, she was getting ready to put the arm bar on Dana Brooke, and she yells, you know what? Wait, hold on. Let me find her. I think I have it written down. She yelled. Oh, there it goes. She yelled to the extent of, pay $60 if you want to see how a real armbar is done. Basically saying, you see my armbar if you pay for WrestleMania. Well, there's the other head scratcher. Second head scratcher of the night. I should have a head scratcher counter. Second head scratcher of the night. Why are you telling people? Well, I mean, I get it. You want to make as much money as you can off of WrestleMania, and it still runs on traditional pay-per-view. So you're going to tell everybody, you know what? Go pay $60 for WrestleMania. Not go get it for free on the network if you subscribe now. So it makes sense, I guess. She smirked at the referees after slapping the one, grabbed her stuff, and Michael Cole yelled, "Rousey's going rogue!" I thought this was pretty good. Rousey was a little quick in her delivery. Like, she's kind of like delivered her lines quickly, almost too fast, to where you couldn't tell she wasn't really just a person talking. She was doing lines. Because she was like, where was that line that I have written down? She was like, you can take all your applauses and shove it. You think I give a damn what you bandwagon bitches think? Like, she was like trying to be too over the top, I felt. But at the same time, those are the things that Ronda would say herself, though. So with that, I thought this was effective. Made Ronda come off as a real big heel. I don't know if we're supposed to think that Charlotte may be a slight baby face now, and Ronda's the only heel, but excuse me. Next up, we got a 4.5 minute match. It was Aleister Black and Ricochet taking on the team of Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Not much to talk about here. Ricochet and Aleister Black won quickly after Black pinned Roode following a Black Mass. I think Cole called it something else, but I can't remember what. He didn't call it a Black Mass, which is weird. Afterwards, as they were leaving, Black and Ricochet, that is, the Revival attacked them on the ramp. They backed away when Roode and Gable got close to them. So I don't know if they're keeping this going as far as Roode, Gable, Black and Ricochet, and the Raw Tag Team Champions. I don't want to see, like, the match was good last night, but I don't want to see it again at WrestleMania. Give us something else. They then stated that Kurt Angle will address his future tonight in his hometown. Now, as some people came and asked me, they're like, didn't Kurt Angle already address his future? Yeah, but it wasn't in his hometown, so it's different. So we then got a moment of bliss. Alexa came out and said that she's got the scoop. She's going to tell us who's hosting WrestleMania. Bliss said that being the host of WrestleMania was an honor and listed off some of the past hosts. She said, Kim Kardashian. But the host this year, better than Kim, better than any reality star. She said, The Rock. The host this year, more electrifying than The Rock. She then said, The New Day. She said, the host this year has more powers of positivity. They then played a quick video showing Los Angeles, the Hollywood sign, Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills, and then Alexa Bliss herself was announced as the host of WrestleMania. I don't know what the hosting gig's gonna consist of, because remember when we saw the New Day as the host, basically New Day came out at the beginning of the show, said welcome to WrestleMania, and then they came out again and introduced the Hardys. That was it. So I don't know what all we're gonna get out of a WrestleMania hosted Alexa Bliss. She then somebody in the crowd yelled, "You deserve it." She said, "Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome to have me be your WrestleMania host." They then aired a video package recapping what happened last week with the SNL guys and Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was interviewed by Charlie Caruso. She said, why did you really have to, she literally said, why did you have to take it upon yourself to jack up Colin Jost by his neck? Jack up Colin Jost? What? Strowman said that he didn't care. He enjoyed it. And then the same stagehand from Fastlane that told Kofi the McMahons wanted to speak to him came up to Braun and said, Mr. Strowman, your car's here. And Strowman said, what car? After commercial break, we see Strowman in the, I guess it's a parking lot, the stagehand in front of a brand new Chevy Camaro. The guy had a note, and he read it off, and it was basically like, hey, no ill will. We want to apologize for what happened last night, or last week. He said this was from Jost, Colin Jost. And then in the letter, it joked about there's no more title opportunities for you to get screwed out of or whatever, so don't ruin this car as well. Pissed off, Braun Strowman. So what did he do? Ripped the door in the mirror off, ripped a seat out, kicked the fender, kicked the bumper off, ruined a brand new $25,000 car. Not the first time we've seen WWE ruin vehicles, though. Strowman then ripped apart the car, yelling and screaming. He then told the stagehand to let them know. He said to let Colin and Michael know that the next time they'll see me will be live from New York. It was all right. I don't know where they're going with Braun for WrestleMania. I hope it's not those two wrestling against Brauners. I don't know. They're supposed to be the special quote-unquote correspondents, but we don't even know what that means. So then Elias came down to the ring, and he was cheered because he's in his hometown. He tried turning on his hometown, though, saying that it's a miracle that he's a success given that he's from Pittsburgh. He said the people from Pittsburgh were miserable. That's why he told his friend Antonio Brown to leave Pittsburgh. He said Antonio Brown sure looks good in black and silver. Reference to Antonio Brown leaving the Pittsburgh Steelers and going to I don't know if you want to call them the Oakland Raiders or the Las Vegas Raiders yet, but going to the Raiders. He advised the crowd booed him this time, but it wasn't that loud. No Way Jose would then come out with new hair. He's got neon green braids all throughout his hair. Corey Graves said, "What is going on with Jose's hair?" And Renee was like, "I think he's taking a page out of Naomi's book." And Graves goes, "He better give that hair back to Naomi." I think he revealed this on social media like Friday or something, the new hair. So No Way Jose was with his conga line. They were going around the ring, and Elias wasn't having it, so he just literally flew through the ropes with a drop kick to No Way Jose, beat him up, hit him with a drift away on the ramp, and that was it. They then announced that Harlem Heat, Booker T and Stevie Ray, the 10-time WCW Tag Team Champions, will be going into the Hall of Fame. I think I made a mistake and said 7-time in my video earlier, but they're 10-time WCW Tag Team Champions. Both men did okay. Well, Stevie did okay as a single. Booker did really well. They then noted that Booker T, along with Shawn Michaels, will be going into the Hall of Fame this year for the second time. I think it was Corey goes, maybe we can get Booker in 3 times and go in as G.I. Bro. I was like, don't even, Corey, don't even. So then Lacey Evans walked out, did her waved at Corey, and then walked away. Nia Jax came out. She was with Tamina. Natalya came out with Beth Phoenix. Before the match even started, Natalya said that she wasn't sure who had her back anymore and didn't think she could trust Rousey. She did know that she can trust her best friend, which brought out Beth Phoenix. The match ended very quickly by disqualification when Phoenix attacked Jax as she worked over Natalya. Nia worked over Natalya. She also knocked down Tamina. The heels bailed as Phoenix checked on Natalya. They cut to the back where Sasha Banks and Bayley brawled with Nia and Tamina till officials broke it up. So I don't know where this is going. I don't know if this is going to be like a triple threat for the women's tag titles at WrestleMania, where it's going to be Bayley and Sasha defending against the team of Nia and Tamina again, and Natty and Beth. So we'll see. They got a couple weeks to figure it all out. We then see Batista show up with a bunch of security guards. So after commercial break, Triple H would come out, and Corey Graves noted that this isn't a boardroom, and Triple H was now here wearing a suit. to have some sort of a meeting. He was here for a fight, and that's why he was wearing jeans and a leather jacket. Crowd chanted for Batista. Batista's music hit. Got a pretty good reaction. Came out wearing a fancy suit and sunglasses, and about 10 security guards who stood in front of him. Triple H asked him, "You just gonna stand there, or are you gonna come down here, Dave? What are you, a nose ring model?" Triple H did most of the talking here. Triple H said that, I came here for a fight. You came here with your security guards. What are those? The Guardians of the Independence or something? I was like, okay then. Trying to be clever, but it really wasn't that clever. Triple H guessed that the security was for his protection, and Batista said no. He's not stupid. He knows how Hunter works. He said he learned from the two dirtiest players in the game and admitted the security was here for himself. He asked Triple H where his sledgehammer was. He said Triple H doesn't go anywhere with a sledgehammer. Batista said that they were going to do things on his terms, and he was going to get what he wanted. Excuse me. Triple H said that he wasn't giving Batista anything. He said, "Batista, Dave, how many times have you quit this company and then tried to come back? You really want me to give you what you want?" Triple H said Batista was too much of a coward to make his way down to the ring and leave his security in the back. Batista then said he quit because he wanted to get far away from Triple H. He said he got tired of Triple H always holding him down and looking down upon him. Batista said that he would get what he wanted, and Triple H kept saying, "Why should I give you what you wanted? You came out and you beat up a 70-year-old man." Batista said that Triple H knows what he wants, and he's just going to give it to him. Triple H kept asking, "Well, why should I give you?" They went back and forth for about 2 minutes here with Batista just kept yelling, "Give me what I want." Triple H just kept saying, "Why?" basically. Finally, Batista said, "Well, I want you at WrestleMania." And Triple H said, "You're on." Batista smiled and thanked him, and then Triple H said, "But there's one thing. One last thing. This is going to end on his terms, and it's going to end no holds barred." Triple H told him to dig deep down inside of him because the match is going to be crazy. There's no rules, no restrictions, all that good stuff. And then Batista left. I thought it was effective. A little weird when they were just yelling at each other for those couple of minutes where it was just like, "Give me what I want." And Triple H was like, "Why should I?" And then Batista would just yell, "Give me what I want." I'm like, okay. So then Kurt Angle came out. Angle came out in his gear, wearing a t-shirt. Angle said 23 years ago he left Pittsburgh to compete in the Olympics and won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. He said that led him into a career in the WWE where he beat everybody. He said no matter where he went, he always considered Pittsburgh his home, which is why he wanted to make an announcement tonight. WrestleMania would be his farewell match. He thanked the WWE, the locker room, and all the fans. He started to get a little emotional and said, quote, "You made it so much fun for me. I literally had the time of my life." The crowd then started chanting, "Thank you, Kurt." Angle said, "But before WrestleMania, I have to have one final match here in my hometown," and out came Apollo Crews. Pretty quick match here. Graves spoke about what it's like growing up in Pittsburgh and following Angle on television, watching Angle's whole career. Angle used a belly-to-belly suplex, but Cruz came back with a drop kick for a 1. Cruz followed up with a vertical suplex and a chin lock. Angle fought out, and the two traded punches. Angle then gave Cruz triple German suplexes. Cruz kicked out at 2. Cruz then hit an enziguri and a standing moonsault for 2 of his own. Angle avoided a frog splash and nailed an Angle slam for the victory. I don't know who Kurt's going to face at WrestleMania for his final match. I have heard the name John Cena being thrown around, so they're trying to figure out something to do with John Cena. So maybe that could be the match. Kurt Angle versus John Cena. Angle seemed very emotional, celebrating the victory. He helped Cruz to his feet, and they hugged. The crowd applauded both men, and Angle soaked it in. Very, very nice. So then we got what we thought was the main event. Roman Reigns comes out to, quote-unquote, face Baron Corbin. As Roman got into the ring, he was then attacked by Drew McIntyre. Reigns tried to fight back, but McIntyre was too much for him and hit him with a Claymore kick on the outside. McIntyre then sized him up and hit him with another Claymore kick, but this time knocking Reigns head first into the ring post. Officials ran down to back off McIntyre. Trainers looked over Roman Reigns as if they were trying to check him for a concussion. So I guess maybe they're doing a concussion storyline with Roman Reigns. I don't know. Vashon Noel. Yes, they may have kind of teased Cena versus Joe, but it doesn't mean that's what they're doing. They've teased a lot of things that they ended up not doing. So Roman's trying to tell everybody that he's fine. Rollins would then come down to check on Reigns. Reigns said that he didn't want to do this out here. Rollins told him that it was okay to admit that he's not fine. Reigns said, I'm good. My head just hurts a little. I got a little headache. Reigns put his arms over Rollins' shoulder as they walked to the back. My whole thing was, are they now portraying Roman as somebody who is not 100%? Like, he probably isn't 100%. But it's like, we've seen him take worse beatings from Brock Lesnar and still fight back. So, I don't know. So we go to the back after commercial, and Ambrose and Rollins are with Reigns. They're going towards the trainer's room, and they walk up on Triple H. Ambrose walks over to Triple H and just says, I want McIntyre. I want him tonight. No disqualification. Falls count anywhere. Triple H looked at him with a grin and goes, hell yeah, I'll go inform McIntyre of his match. So then we got a 14.5-minute match between Drew McIntyre and Dean Ambrose. Both men beat the crap out of each other, but Dean specifically took one hell of a beating. So McIntyre came out with a mic and asked Ambrose if he was going to take the beating like a man, or if he was going to squeal like a pathetic brother of Roman. Ambrose ran after him and they started the match. Ambrose was all over him in the beginning. They fought through the crowd. He got to the top of the level 100 section, and McIntyre tossed him into the wall. He tried chucking Ambrose off of the railing into the crowd, but Ambrose bit him and nailed him with an axe handle. Ambrose threw a small table at him, and they went to commercial. Coming back from the commercial, actually they showed during the commercial, they were in the concession area, and Ambrose dumped a table on McIntyre, ate some popcorn off the floor. Dean does not care about hygiene. CJ, you're getting timed out. If you keep that up, I will ban you. Back from the break, they made their way back down to the ringside area where McIntyre hit Ambrose with the steel steps for a 2. He tried it again, and Ambrose kicked it into him. McIntyre followed with a suplex on the floor for another 2 count. McIntyre taunted him and said that he would take every Shield member out one at a time. So Ambrose kicked him right in the nuts. McIntyre used the steel steps, then dumped Ambrose on the hockey boards. Ambrose placed McIntyre on an equipment case with wheels and pushed it into another case. He followed with an elbow drop for a 2. Ambrose then used a small package of all things on the stage. McIntyre cleared the announce table, and Ambrose gave him a backdrop on it. McIntyre followed up with a low blow of his own. He would then go on to stab Dean Ambrose in the dang eye with a pencil. McIntyre then drove him into the video board face first, tried to pin him 2 count. Ambrose was on his knees, barely able to get to his knees, and he slapped McIntyre. McIntyre slapped him right back. With that, McIntyre then took the arm and head of Ambrose and put it between a handrail, like in through the handrail, kicked Dean Ambrose with the Claymore kick, and then thought, you know what? I'm going to do it one more time. And he kicked Dean Ambrose again with a Claymore kick, but this time sent Ambrose kind of flying down these steps. then go over and pin Dean Ambrose. 1, 2, 3. McIntyre wins the Falls Count Anywhere match. McIntyre will then celebrate standing on top of the announce table. With like less than a minute left in the show, Dean will then come over towards Drew McIntyre. Dean's on his knees, and McIntyre looks over at him, and you hear Michael Cole say, "Don't do it, Drew." And you hear Renee scream, "Don't, please don't." He then kicks Dean Ambrose square in the face with the Claymore kick. And the last thing you see and hear, you see Dean Ambrose just fall flat back, just splat right on the steel grate, or whatever you're going to call it, the staging area. And you hear Renee scream. And the show goes to black. And it was it. It was over. Like they got that show off at the last second. That was Raw. That was Monday Night Raw. I thought, unlike most weeks, it was easy to watch. Show flowed, in my opinion, pretty well. And like I said, I'd give it probably a 7 out of 10. I thought it was all right. I thought there was more good than bad. I'm just looking at your guys' stuff here in the chat. Jumping Man Jay says, Tim, but camera cut scene killed it. You mean like the way they cut the show out quickly at the end? I liked the way all you hear is Renee screaming, "No! Dean!" And then it's over. And it's just poof, done. Like, uh-oh. He killed Dean Ambrose. If that's what you're saying, I don't know why you say dumb Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn's not the one that times out the show. Kevin Dunn's just the one that is in charge of all the camera cuts. As far as timing out the show, that's somebody else like a Bruce Pritchard or something. So with that, now I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. You can call into the show at 559-475-8473. You can also text into the show. You can text in at 510-906-1341. Again, you can call in at 559-475-8473 and text in at 510-906-1341. See if we got, I think we've got a call coming in here. Yeah, we got a call. Let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Tim?
How's it going?
I'm doing good, sir. How's your night going?
Pretty good.
That's good. Raw was excellent, I thought. I mean, I agree it was not the best show, but it was pretty good. I got a question for you.
All right.
Any chance, did you watch any of, it's been all over social media, the whole Ronda Rousey, like, bashing the business on her website?
From last week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is that a work?
For the most part, yes.
Because, I mean, you know, she's always been talking about that she's always wanted to be a part of WWE. And I was talking to a friend of mine, I said, that don't sound like Ronda. Because, I mean, I think I'm not.
Now, here's the thing with that. Yes, it's a work in the fact of her crapping all over the WWE. But the verbiage and the way she said it, from what I've heard of people that know Ronda Rousey, that's how she literally talks in real life.
Well, I can believe it. Yeah. Because I was just like, damn, she's really bashing the business like that. Wow. And, but I like that side of her. I like it. I mean, I wish that was the Ronda Rousey we got at WrestleMania last year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would have been really. But now, now the match with her, Charlotte, and Becky, now it's a handicap match now, or
No.
is it still just a triple threat?
She was basically trying to say, I'm so confident in myself, you can make it a handicap match and have both women fight me and not each other. But it's still a triple threat.
Okay.
She's just trying to be She's trying to be the extra overconfident heel.
Nice. And I actually like that because you've never seen that from many of the heels now, like you did back in the Attitude Era.
Especially with the women.
And no, exactly. I mean, I don't think anybody can compare to Ronda Rousey. I mean, the only person I could think of, maybe, if you think about it, maybe Trish Stratus. She had that kind of a attitude when she was a heel.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the only person I could really think of. I mean, everybody else was like cupcake-ish. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. But everything else, and Fastlane was excellent too. And but where do you think where do you think they're going to go with the tag team titles with Bobby Roode and Chad Gable and Revival and.
The way it played off tonight really just looked like they're going to do a rematch from Fastlane. I hope not. I hope they do something different. But, I mean, they did Black and Ricochet versus Gable and Rude. But then I thought, okay, that's just a match to be a match. But then when the Revival came out and attacked Ricochet and Black afterwards, I was like, wait, what are we getting here? And then when they ran from Rude and Gable, to me it just seemed like rematch from Fastlane.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not either. The match last night was really good. I was really impressed, and everybody got all their spots right. They got everything timed. It was perfect. Well, I loved it.
Except for when they went for that Hurricane Rana to the outside, and Scott Dawson slammed his back right on the edge of the ring.
Oh my God! That made me cringe.
Me too.
Oh. But no, and the other thing is, you was talking about, talking about the matches, since Bobby Lashley's got the title, are they going to give maybe Finn Balor a rematch at WrestleMania, or is that out of the question right now?
Honestly, I have no clue. It's so weird because they keep saying the whole no automatic rematches. But then tomorrow, Truth's getting a rematch. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't know where the consistency is supposed to lie with any of that. It just doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, I understand too. And Triple H, after they were starting the whole McMahon family, whatever the hell you want to call it. They were saying no more rematches, and now everybody's getting a rematch. And
exactly,
I just don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense, kind of like what you were just saying. But thank you for taking the call, Tim.
Not a problem.
Have a good night.
Thanks for the call. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. So as we look at some of the text messages here, if anybody else does want to call in, 559-475-8473. Put it in the live chat again, 559-475-8473. 952 in the chat, or the text line says, do you think Becky's momentum is going down? And if so, do you think she can get it back before Mania? I think it is, and I don't know if she can. I expected at least her or Charlotte to appear on Raw tonight, and that didn't happen. So maybe they appear on SmackDown, which I'm still kind of baffled why they keep putting these. I don't know if they're going to be on SmackDown tomorrow, but I keep being baffled why they're giving time to a Raw segment on SmackDown. It's weird. But as far as Becky getting her momentum back, I have no clue. Because that stuff at Fastlane where Ronda had to help her win made Becky look so weak. So weak. 512 says, who do you think Drew is going to face at WrestleMania? And I think it could be Roman Reigns, based off of what they played tonight in that main event deal and whatnot. He said he's going to take on each member of the Shield and take them down one at a time. So he took on. Now, I don't know how this will work, though, because he took on Dean and he killed Dean tonight. I doubt if he takes on Roman at WrestleMania, he beats Roman, so. And then as far as when he takes on Seth, I don't know. Maybe he challenges Seth for the Universal title after Mania. But let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Good. I want to know what's your thoughts about Drew McIntyre's potential match at WrestleMania and whether it would be with Roman Reigns or not after tonight.
I mean, after what we saw tonight, it does lead one to believe that it could be Roman Reigns. I don't know exactly where they're going with this Roman Reigns possible concussion thing. I don't know if it's a way to keep Roman out of the ring. I wouldn't keep him out of WrestleMania. Like, if he's good to go, if he can wrestle a singles match.
Well, they're keeping him off of house shows right now, so they probably don't want to have him wrestle too much.
Well, they're just doing that because they told him they don't want to overwork him for when he first comes back. What I heard was he's going to be off of all house shows until May, and then once May rolls around, they're going to look at the situation, see how often they want him to work house shows. If he wants to just work all house shows, they're going to reevaluate everything house show-wise till May. But my thought was, if Roman's back and Roman's able to wrestle, put him at WrestleMania. Why not? But then they did the concussion thing tonight.
You got to think that, you got to think that, though, if he has a match at WrestleMania against Drew, that's got to be, the number one contender for the Universal title coming off the back of WrestleMania, right?
I mean, maybe, but at the same time, why they don't really do just number one contender matches anymore? And it would be weird.
I mean, figuratively, not like
right.
Yeah, they're very vague about that.
Right, but at the same time, I don't think that they would do Roman, because Roman's not going to lose if he has a match at WrestleMania. And
I was kind of thinking let's say Roman wins, and then Vince takes one look out the curtain on the way, on the day of WrestleMania, and he says Brock's going over, and then he saves Brock for Roman at SummerSlam. Maybe,
I don't know. But I do think, based off of tonight, if Roman, because I don't know where this concussion thing's going to go, but if Roman is going to work Mania, it should be against Drew McIntyre to get his revenge off of McIntyre almost injuring him and taking him out again, basically.
Yeah. I think that, I don't want Brock to retain. I think that it would be a much more interesting storyline if Seth was at the top.
For sure.
And then Roman had to kind of dethrone him as his brother if Dean Ambrose leaves.
Right.
And that could be, your main event scene for a little while. Because that could go for a little bit. It's a really interesting storyline, I think.
Probably.
But I think that you would also want to have Drew in there. And then maybe get AJ Styles over if they're putting him on Raw.
I mean, they could, but here's the thing, though. If you have Seth Rollins as the champion, you need heels to challenge him.
Yeah.
And I don't see them making AJ a heel. But I can see Drew McIntyre for sure a great opponent for Seth Rollins with the Universal title on the line.
And they also got the Money in the Bank.
That they do.
Yeah. Definitely going to be an interesting scene coming off the back of WrestleMania.
For sure. But with that, I want to say thank you for the call and have a great night.
You too.
All right. We got some text messages flowing in here. Read some of the text messages. Also looking at the chat. Not much coming from the chat, but from the text messages. 817 says, does WWE have time to build up something or someone to face The Undertaker? I mean, they can, but I don't know. I know Vince has said come up with an idea, but what that idea is going to be, who knows? And who knows if Undertaker even wants to wrestle this year at WrestleMania? That's the big question, is he even willing? 514 says, do you think Sammy will return before WrestleMania, or will he be the surprise of the Superstar Shakeup in Montreal? I think if it was me, I'd keep him till Montreal in his hometown. I'd bring him back in Montreal if it was up to me. 248 says, do you think Dean is actually leaving? As of this past weekend, yes. Dean Ambrose still had no intentions of re-signing with the WWE. As of this past weekend, going into Fastlane, the thought from everybody was Dean is still leaving when his contract expires in April. 214 says, do you think any chance we're getting Usos versus the Hardys? Maybe. They teased it a couple times on SmackDown. Excuse me. They teased it a couple times on SmackDown. I know tomorrow the Hardys will be teaming with Ricochet and Aleister Black to take on the team of The Bar, Rusev, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Terrence Sproles has a good question. At WrestleMania, are they going to do the Andre Memorial Battle Royal? I would assume they would, and I really thought that would have been announced tonight, because it's something where it's just like you announce it just to announce it. You don't got to really say much about it anymore unless you're running down the card. But when they didn't announce it tonight, I'm just like, why not? It's not like it's something you really have to keep consistent in storyline and going until Mania. You just announce it once and get it out of the way early. So, I don't know. I would assume they do both the men's and the women's battle royals on the pre-show. I'm looking here in the text line. 512 says, do you think Drew could win the title at SummerSlam? Maybe. It all depends. That's way too far down the line to actually really predict. It all depends on if Seth's still the champion, what the feeling is of Seth as the champion, and where they're going with Drew at the time. It looks like they're really trying to push Drew again as a singles, and we'll see where it goes. But I think thinking about him maybe winning the title at SummerSlam, a little too far out there. 443 says Finn versus Taker as a passing of the torch. Demon versus Phenom. Then Finn respectively wins. Undertaker walks off, and they're on out Demon only at WrestleMania. I don't like it. No, I wouldn't do it. Let's take this call. Be our final call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
So for the past month, I think Lacey Evans has been making these pointless entrances. Do you think that this is a good way for them to push her?
No.
And who do you think she should be, or I don't know how to say that. Who do you think she should? I don't know.
You're asking who she should wrestle?
Yeah, or yeah. Sorry.
I know her name has been floated around as an opponent for Asuka at WrestleMania. Whether that actually happens or not, I don't know. But they have thought about her challenging Asuka for the SmackDown Live Women's Championship at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but if I see Lacey Evans do a pointless drop one more time, I think I'm actually gonna throw something at my TV. I've seen it so many times, and I hate every single time it happens.
Well, I don't see them stopping that anytime soon.
I know. And how do you feel about the Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte feud? Do you think that they booked it wrong, or Vince McMahon is just setting new ideas every other Raw?
I want to say thank you for the call. Have a great night. I think, I don't want to say they booked it wrong. Kind of. They've overbooked it. They've tried to throw too many storylines at it and change things up way too many times. All it really had to be was Becky won the Rumble. How do you get Charlotte in? Now it's a triple threat. You don't have to have Becky sneak into the Rumble, win the Rumble, get pulled from the match, Charlotte get added to the match, Becky have to re-earn the match. She doesn't really earn them. It's too much. And it's really hurt Becky. Becky's no longer the hottest thing in the company. Kofi is. We ran 2 polls yesterday, overnight and this morning, last 24 hours, and decisively, all you guys that voted all said that Kofi's more over than Becky Lynch is now. Oh. Gabriel, the NXT takeover or the NXT tapings are Wednesday, not tomorrow. We'll know more on what they're doing with Ciampa and the NXT Championship going forward on Wednesday. We'll talk all about that on the Wednesday podcast. I'll read the last couple of these text messages here before we wrap things up. 248 says, what do you think about Finn Balor winning the Money in the Bank and turning heel, you mean? I don't know if I wouldn't turn Finn heel. Finn was a great heel in Bullet Club, but I think for him in WWE right now, he's perfect babyface, and they need to keep him as a babyface. Winning Money in the Bank? Sure. I'd like to see that. Last text message here states, Do you think they will do John Cena versus Kurt Angle? Cena's first match against... wait, are you saying that this would be Cena's first match against... Oh, no, you worded your text message way wrong. He's asking if because John Cena's first match in the WWE on the main roster was against Kurt Angle, could Kurt Angle's last match be against John Cena? Maybe. I have, like I said earlier, heard John Cena's name floated around as an opponent for Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. With that, I'm going to wrap things up here. I want to say thank you to everybody who did join us live here for the Monday Night Raw review. I also want to thank everybody who watched later, either here on YouTube or listened over on iTunes. You can always subscribe right here to the Pro Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. And of course, check out our website, pwunlimited.net. Have a good night, guys. We will be live again tomorrow following SmackDown Live. We'll see you then.